Hey, what's up YouTube? On this Toyota Highlander, I'm going to be changing the rear spark plugs. I did the front ones already. I got a video on that. You can check that out. Now I'm going to be doing the rear. And pretty much to start, I got the cover off. As you can see, I'm going to disconnect all these hoses and loose this wire harness so I have room to get to that bolt in the back. And then I'll show the bolts in the front that have to get taken out. And this is just a clip. I'm gonna pinch. Slide the hose off. Leave the clip on it. This just pull out. Same thing with this. Pinch this clip to take it off. And I'm going to be removing not the air box, but I'm going to be removing this section. And this is a Phillips head screwdriver. And just in case these get stripped, you could use a 10 mil to take it off. And I also went ahead and disconnected the battery. And just squeeze this connector, squeeze this tab, unplug. Get this vacuum line. There's another line in the back of this box. Just gotta unplug that. And to get this off, just gotta use a screwdriver to kind of loose it up. There we go. Right here, it's just a little notch that the hose slide into. Just gotta pull it out. That's it. And like usual, I suggest taking lots of pictures. That way, putting it back together, you're not confused. Now, there's gonna be a bolt in the back here. Gonna have to reach through here to get it. So I'm gonna take off this throttle body and just let it hang, just to have better access to that bolt. And it's 4 10 mils. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And all these bolts are actually the same size. And this, I'm not gonna disconnect anything from it, not the lines or the connector, just let it hang. And all this is just to get just a little extra room to work with. Now I have to loose this harness. So we have one bolt here. There's another one over here. And the other bolt is right here on the side. Here's a close-up view. That's it. Just want to crack it loose. And like that, it's loose. I may just go ahead and disconnect some of the connectors that are on it just to get a little more wiggle room. So I'll do that as I move forward. So now I gotta take these front bolts off, and we got a 10mm right here, another one on the other end, and then in the middle we have some hex head. So I just gotta take those off, and these are 5mm. And my bit is not magnetic, it's just the screws are so are kind of rusted, so it fits very snug. I go with the 10mm. One more, actually it's already disconnected. So from here, now I got to get to the back, so I'm gonna have to use a mirror to see where the bolts in the back, it should be 2 bolts, should be one on this side in the back and one on this side. And look what I found just sitting there. This must be sitting here for at least 10 years or so. A Craftsman 14mm. And in the back, I believe this is the bolt that I gotta take out. And this vacuum line from the brake boost, it goes into the intake. So you can see I removed the clip. So I'm just gonna undo it. So on the passenger side rear, that's the bolt that has to get taken out, and I believe it's a 12mm. And this is the one on the driver's side. So on the driver's side, the bolt is right back here. Passenger side, it's right in this area. This one, I'll just go on top, try to get it from here. On this side, I'm gonna have to go through here and go around to try and get it. And that's why I loosened this wire harness, just so that I have, you know, a little wiggle room. I could get back there and get the tool on it. So once I get all the bolts out, then just pick this up and just like that, it's out. Here I just covered up the intake with a rag, and what I did for the back, there are two brackets. Instead of trying to take the bolt out for the brackets, I just unbolted the bracket from the block instead. So putting it back in should be fairly easy. If it's giving a hard time to go back in, I'll loosen these. I won't take them out, I'll just loosen them a little bit so I have some wiggle room, and then I'll put it back. Now in the back here, this is where we have our coil and spark plug. So there's a coil here, 10mm, and the connector, same here, and then the other one is right here. So I'm just gonna take these off, 1, 2, and the last bolt for this harness that I loosened, and that should give me enough room to get back here and take these out. Here I pretty much have everything unplugged, so I just have to remove the bolts for the coil, pull the coils out, and change the plugs. And the plugs are 5/8, so you got to use a 5/8 spark plug socket. Now it might not come out, it's not enough room. I need a universal. I don't have a universal right now, so what I gotta do is take the extension off while holding the socket, then pull it out. So now I'll put the new one in, and I'll just put a little bit of anti-seize on it. Once it's in, hand tied it. And spark plugs do not take a lot of torque, so once I hand tied it until it stops, then I'll just snug it up and that's it. That's pretty much it. I get my tool on, and usually what I do to get pretty much the right amount of torque, I choke up on my ratchet and I just hand tied it just like that. That's it. Now I go back to this method to put this one in. I hold it just like that. I snap my tool on. At this point, I'm gonna change the coil. So here I got some Denso, and I just sprayed a little bit of dielectric grease in it. So once it slides over the plug, in the future, if I gotta take it off, it's not gonna be like all stuck on there. So it's just to maneuver it over this harness, get it lined up. Once I get it lined up, drop it in. And that's it. Now I just go ahead and do this for all 6. So at this point I'll have 6 plugs, 6 coils, and I'm also going to change the connector that's broken. I'm going to do a separate video on these, so you could check that video out. But I'm going to change the connector, that way once I plug it in, it'll snap in and not just pop back out. Right now, if I plug it in, that's it, it's already in, but there's nothing holding it, so it'll pop right back out. So I'll just replace these, and like I said, I'll do another video on that. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the intake manifold gaskets, and this is the new one. That's the part number. And these are pretty simple to change. It's really nothing to it. Hardest part is getting this off to change it. And they have a little, it's like a little lip or a little tab to hold and just take them off. And if the surface is dirty, You could always clean them up, but I'm just gonna install the new ones. Just snaps right in. Just like that. That's it. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the intake manifold. Just got to make sure the surface where the gasket is going to touch, make sure it's clean. Just like that. So now there's one other gasket I'm going to change, and it's this one, and that's for the throttle body. Same concept. And for this one, this is the part number V6 Toyota 3.5. Perfect. I could have done this last after I bolted it down, but I'll just leave it like that for now. And from here is just to put the bolts back in, the two nuts on each end, then the bolts, catch the bolts in the back, tighten those down, reconnect all the hoses and the and vacuum lines, put the throttle body back on, and job done. And just a quick note, whenever you tighten pretty much anything that has a gasket, you always want to use a crisscross pattern. Same thing for the intake. It's 4 bolts, so you put all your bolts in, snug them down, and then whichever one you start from, you go the opposite. So you go, if you go this one first, then you tighten the other one after, the opposite one, then you come to this one, tighten that one, then you tighten the one in the corner. And remember, same thing here, crisscross pattern. And by doing it in a crisscross pattern, you ensure that the gasket is sitting flat. You won't have, if you do, let's say you start from here and you do this one, then you do these two, this is going to be tight, but then the gasket may start buckling right here. So that's why you do a crisscross pattern. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.